Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. We're going to be joined in the next segment by both Alex Jones and then Anthony Gucciardi is going to join us in the studio, talk about the collapse of society. One evidence of the collapse of society, I think, is the fact that everybody seems to be just fine with the fact that the police used a robot to kill the shooter. Because what we have here, let's understand this, folks. This truly is the first use of a drone to kill an American on American soil without any due process. Now, we can argue that it was done to save lives, okay? But you have to understand that there is nothing more dangerous than a government that is not held to a legal standard. In the long run, you're going to lose a lot more lives that way. This is a story that was up from the Ron Paul Institute on InfoWars yesterday, and Dallas Drone Wars just came home. And that was essentially the point they made. They said, yeah, it was done with a drone, even though it was wheels instead of wings on this particular drone. And as I was talking about before we went to the break, the shooter who was falsely, the open carry person who was falsely identified as a shooter, and that was a black Dallas protester, Mark Hughes, went out all over social media. The police said they held him for questioning for a half hour and said, we've got pictures of you shooting a gun. He said, they're lying about me. And eventually, they turned him loose. They were just calling the bluff. But you have to ask yourself, how far down the road are we going to go when the police are being attacked like this, or there's an urgent need, that they will, out of fear or expediency, just shoot someone instead of putting their picture out on social media and saying, this is the shooter? Will they not just kill a future Mark Hughes? That's the point that's made in the article. So during the questioning, they told Hughes they had a video of him shooting people. That was a lie. What if the police had sent a drone to take him out? What will happen in the future Mark Hugheses who are falsely accused by the police of being in a shooting? Will we come to accept murder without a trial? See, part of the problem with this is when we look at all these mass shootings, they're always used to further a political agenda. Wouldn't we like to know that we truly have gotten to the bottom of it, that we truly have gotten the people that were involved in it, that we have an accurate picture of what happened? But understand that this really isn't about race, fundamentally. This is about an arms race. This is about the military-industrial complex coming home to America. They want the militarized police because it's going to be a profit center for them. The war on terror is a profit center. That was the key profit center they had as they shut down the Cold War. Of course, they've started the Cold War up again as well. They're going to be building all of those long-range bombers and missiles again. That's what all this activity in the Ukraine is about, another profit center for that. But they do want that profit center of the war on terror. People who say that we're concerned, and we are concerned, that we're going to have a militarized police, you need to understand the police are already militarized. We've already got the federal government training our police. The question is it going to increase? We've had the federal government training the police in rules of engagement, training them to essentially be like Barney Fife, fearful of everything that they see, flaunting their authority, except instead of taking their bullets, they give them a magazine full of bullets and tell them to, once they start firing, to continue to fire until the magazine is empty. Those are the rules of engagement that are coming from the federal police. And they're giving militarized vehicles in the name of the war on drugs, okay? It truly is a war. They brought a war to our streets. The war of terror is from them. The war of drugs is from them. It's not going to solve anything. I mean, we even had the Dallas police chief come out and say, we've got to stop asking cops to do so much in this country. He says every societal failure, we put it on the cops to solve. He talked about drug addiction and all these other things. No, we put it on the government to solve. We think the government should solve everything. And we think the government should use force to solve everything, to make us safe. And so that's why we use the police to do it. He's exactly right about that. But then, of course, he goes on further and he says, you can become part of the solution. Join the police force. We'll solve all of your problems. No, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you is not true. We'll be right back.
Last week, we pointed out that globalists have declared open season on free individuals and nations worldwide. When the British left the euro, the globalists decided to go into high gear. They've now announced that Hillary won't be indicted no matter how many crimes she commits. It's time for us to take our matters into our own hands. The globalist warfare model is siege. It wants to make us dependent. It wants to cut off our economies. It wants to be able to set up a worldwide financial crisis where there are food shortages that are already happening in most parts of the world, where they basically bring us to our knees and where we capitulate to their demands. That's why we're extending the July 4th sale right through next week, because it's all about declaring your independence from the globalists. You don't just declare your independence when you buy high-quality storable foods or water filters or shortwave radios at InfoWarsStore.com. You declare your independence when you share links of articles and videos and information from the broadcast, because there's a war on for your mind. It's a total 360 win at InfoWarsStore.com.